Okay, we've seen fundies quote mine scientists. We have seen them even quote mine from their own holy book, the Bible. But now, ShockofGod has taken it to another level. Video mining.
Hey folks, I just watched a video that was sent to me by TheaxlSnaks, and this guy actually is an atheist. Now I want to let you know, he admits that I totally pwned the atheist show. Listen to this, and then click the pop-up here, and so this is an honest atheist admitting it. Listen.
TheaxlSnaks here, and this is a reply to a ShockofGod video called Christian runs circles around 4 atheist radio hosts' actual live call. Now, this video is basically an advertisement for another video or something else. I've already seen it before. About he calls in some atheist radio station and poses a question: how is atheism accurate and correct? And basically destroys them, which is really funny because they're numbskulls on that radio show.
You guys, let's pause it just there and continue with the original video by TheaxlSnaks.
Funny because they're numbskulls on that radio show.
As anyone can see with half a brain, and this excludes Shock, is that the young man is being a tad ironic here. But of course, fundamentalist Christians simply do not get irony. It's patently obvious that TheaxlSnaks does not pay the question any credibility at all. He does have the greatest respect for the guys on the Atheist Show, but admittedly calls them numbskulls for even giving such a non-question the time of day. Shock, can't you see that your question is as valid as, when did you stop beating your wife? Or dare I ask, can you provide me with proof and evidence that atheism is not accurate and correct?
The question, however, that was posed in the video is what this is a reply to. The question is, why do atheists preach atheism? Now, let me first start out about the concept of atheism. Atheism is the lack of a belief in a god. Even Christians are atheists because they don't believe in Zeus, Poseidon, or Thor. And I mean, that argument's obviously been used before. Every single thing I'm going to say right now has been said before. Hopefully I'll just say it in a more coherent way. Now, atheism is the lack of a belief in a god, a supernatural being, lack of a worship for them, lack of a belief in them, and that's that. Atheism differs itself from agnosticism because agnosticism basically says, I don't know, I'm open-minded about it, that's that.
Anyhow, back to a bit more of ShockofGod.
He's a real atheist, but I have to admit, at least he's honest. It takes a lot of guts to admit that I did destroy those atheists on that show. I'm sorry.
And so you should be sorry, Shock.
I had to laugh. If you want to hear the video where he's talking about it, there's some profanity, so I didn't play the whole thing. But he does admit that I destroyed the atheists on the show. It's called Why Do Atheists Preach Atheism? So I want to thank TheaxlSnaks for making an honest video admitting that yes, I did destroy those atheists on the show, and boy did I destroy them.
I love the way Shock doesn't include the whole video, using the excuse that it contains profanities. Shock, you could have easily put a link in the annotations or in the description bar. Or you could have merely edited the profanities out. Nah, that's not the reason why you did not include the whole video. Obviously you knew full well your sheep would be too apathetic to expend the minimal detective work to locate the video. They are just words, Shock, but for the record, here are the profanities in their entirety.
Granted, I am very strong-willed and do have a strong opinion, and I know what the fuck I think, but when someone asks me a question, and I say, no, I don't believe in God, and they say, well, I do, I don't go, you're wrong! God don't exist, motherfucker! You're wrong, you're stupid, you're ignorant.
I think threatening innocent people with eternal torture is far worse a profanity. But now for some more of Shock.
But it's pretty easy when you're dealing with atheism, because atheism is a bunch of crap. So here you have it, guys, an atheist admitting that I destroyed the atheists on the show. Even he's laughing about it. Oh, if you want to know what show he's talking about, it's absolutely hilarious, where I totally take control and dominate all 4 atheists on the show and get them to admit the only proof and evidence they have that atheism is accurate and correct is their say-so.
Well, at last a bit of honesty, Shock. You did take over the show, because you just shouted over them. And we all know it's the empty kettle that makes most noise.
It is kind of funny. Click this pop-up right here that appears on the video and you can listen to it. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to keep getting these videos. I'll keep the atheist humor coming for you guys. Make sure you go to my channel and subscribe.
I did subscribe, Shock, but you blocked me because I absolutely pawned your arse to pieces.
I also have a video of Richard Dawkins rides a motorcycle for the first time. Check that out. It's absolutely hilarious.
Trust me, folks, it is not absolutely hilarious. It's infantile at best.
That I did go ahead and destroy the other atheist. He's being honest. Everyone knows it. Everyone on YouTube knows it. God bless you, man. I mean that sincerely.
Oh, please, somebody pass the sick bucket quick. Too late. Anyhow, let's hear a bit more from the TheaxlSnaks, who at the tender age of 17 is demonstrably more articulate and switched on than ShockofGod.
Religion in itself is kind of pathetic, because it's trying, especially with the more supernatural-based religions, it's trying to take a unfathomable idea like God and define it. That's why there's so many different religions, because there's so many different interpretations as to how to define God, or how to define the afterlife, or how to define the supernatural period. That's why atheism, when you step away from humanism, is individualistic. Atheists can be spiritual. I mean, you have Buddhists. Atheism can also simply be atheism, like with me. I don't believe in God. I leave it at that.
Can you imagine ShockofGod attempting to debate this young man in a moderated environment? I strongly recommend you watch the whole video of his. Anyhow, we have seen that Shock has embraced technology and evolved from quote mining to video mining by just selecting one tiny passage to boost his own ego while ignoring all of the excellent remaining points made by the TheaxlSnaks. Oh, before I go, Shock, let's point out something else, shall we? Let's compare videos. Your video, where comments and ratings are disabled, Shock. And the TheaxlSnaks video. And look, Shock, you, the greatest censor, are even allowed to comment on his video. Now think very carefully, Shock, but does this not tell you something?